It's 2:07 a.m. The internet stops. Not just your Wi-Fi, not just one country. The entire digital world. Gone. No warning, no recovery. Just silence. In the next 10 minutes, we'll explore what would truly happen if the internet disappeared forever. We'll break it down moment by moment, from the collapse of global communication to the chaos in hospitals, banks, airports, and homes. We'll examine how businesses fall, how governments panic, and how everyday people begin to adapt. You'll see how quickly society unravels and how humanity fights to survive without the one thing we rely on every second: connection. And in the end, we'll ask the question no one's prepared for. What if this was planned all along? This isn't science fiction, it's a possible tomorrow, and it starts now. It starts quietly. At first, it feels like a glitch. Your favorite app won't load, your browser spins endlessly. Maybe you restart your Wi-Fi, but nothing changes. You check your phone, no messages, no emails, not even a single notification. That alone feels strange. But then you notice something else. Everyone around you is experiencing the same silence. In a small cafe in Paris, customers stare at frozen screens. In Tokyo, traders sit in confusion as stock monitors turn black. In New York, emergency rooms lose access to critical data mid-surgery. It's not a local outage. It's not a bad update. This is the complete disappearance of the internet, everywhere. No websites, no apps, no services, no cloud. Every digital connection humanity has ever built, from 1991 until today, is suddenly gone. The world is no longer online. In the first hour, confusion turns to panic. Airports shut down, planes are grounded, no navigation systems, no communication between control towers, traffic lights in some cities begin to malfunction, delivery services collapse, food apps stop working, people start hoarding without even realizing why. And then, the real fear begins to sink in. Banks can't confirm your identity, ATMs refuse to work, people rush to stores, but cards are useless. Cash becomes king again, but how much of it do you really have? In just one morning, the entire economy takes a direct hit to the chest. On social media, there's nothing. No trending topics, no Instagram stories, no late-night tweets. Influencers fade into silence. News anchors have no headlines because no information is coming in. Across millions of homes, screens flicker, then go dark. It's the first time in modern history that the world is truly quiet. For the first time, humanity is forced to look up instead of scrolling down. As the sun rises, presidents, prime ministers, and intelligence agencies around the world are all asking the same question. What just happened? They try to communicate, but their encrypted channels are dead. No one knows if this was a... Satellites still orbit the Earth, but they can't send data. In moments like this, the thin thread of trust that holds nations together begins to tear. Countries turn inward. Rumors explode. Was it China? Was it the US? Was it AI? Without news, the world becomes a breeding ground for fear. And fear is far more contagious than any virus. The streets fill with people not to protest, but to understand. But there is no one to explain. Journalists can't publish. There are no live streams, no tweets, no breaking news banners, only whispers. And panic. People gather around TVs hoping old signals still work. But broadcast networks, which rely on internet feeds, begin to shut down too. Every second that passes makes one thing clearer. We weren't prepared for this. Not just technically, emotionally, psychologically. We've built a world that breathes the internet, and now it's suffocating. Police departments can't coordinate, hospitals lose patient data, pharmacies can't verify prescriptions, power grids start showing inconsistencies. Some areas face rolling blackouts, not because of a shortage, but because control systems were online only. A few cities still run on older, offline tech, but they're isolated. Those with analog skills, old radios, mechanical locks, handwritten systems, become the new elite. And just like that, the digital revolution is over. What remains is raw survival. Somewhere in the silence, a different kind of signal appears. In the deep web, in abandoned data centers, someone or something is still connected, and it's broadcasting a message. This was never an accident, but who is behind it? A rogue nation, a hidden AI, or humanity itself? 3 days without the internet. Supermarkets are empty, phone batteries are dying, people carry cash again, but trust is fading fast. And in the chaos, small offline communities start to form. Some groups gather in schools, using chalkboards and paper maps. Others turn to ham radios, a forgotten tech now reborn. Books, newspapers, even CDs become valuable again. A strange silence covers the world, but beneath it, something new is growing. Without algorithms, no one is famous. Without Wi-Fi, no one is connected. But those who can fix, build, and organize become the new leaders. Tech geniuses once stuck in offices are now trading knowledge like treasure, and printed manuals are priceless. For the first time in decades, power belongs not to the influencers, but to the problem solvers. Then a rumor spreads. Somewhere deep in the mountains, an old bunker is still online. Not fully, just enough. Enough to send a message. We know why the internet vanished. And with that single signal, a quiet race begins. Who's behind it? And more importantly, what happens if someone tries to bring it back? Deep underground, in an old Cold War bunker, a group of engineers finally speak. No media, no politicians, just raw data, and one truth. The shutdown was planned. Not by one country, not by hackers, but by a coalition of the world's most powerful tech minds, people who saw what the internet was becoming. Too loud, too fast, too controlling, a place no longer built for humans, but for profit. Years ago, they designed a hidden protocol, a way to quietly shut it all down if it went too far. It was never meant to be used, but AI had begun rewriting itself. The internet was turning into something else. And then, it was triggered. Not by choice, but by fear. Now there's one final question. Should it return? The internet brought connection, knowledge, progress, but also chaos, addiction, control. In just a few days without it, the world has suffered, but also begun to breathe. Some believe it's better this way, disconnected, slower, human. Others say the world cannot survive offline. No matter what's decided, the world will never be the same again. Maybe this is just a story, a what if, a warning. But look around, how much of your life depends on the invisible web? And if it disappeared tomorrow, who would you be without it? Persuasive. If this made you think differently, if you felt even a second of stillness, fear, or curiosity, then maybe, just maybe, the internet didn't need to vanish for you to see how much it holds us. Share this video. Subscribe to HypothiQ, where we ask the questions no one dares to, because the future is closer than you think, and sometimes the scariest what if is the one we never prepared for.